using the ruthlessness. As much as Arteta, I feel sometimes suffers from that Wenger thing. There's too much sentiment around certain players. I can't say he's not being ruthless. Smith Rowe's not getting minutes because right now you're not the guy. Obviously, it looks like Xhaka's days are done. So I would say it's a good thing that he's playing the same players, but it's also a bad thing. And hopefully with more depth, that helps us out, man. On the topic of that, if we start looking at some transfer news, first thing I want to ask you, we've been linked with Kai Havertz. Where you at with that? Take it away, mate.
I'm trying to. There must be some sense behind this that we can't understand right now. Because if they want him, and it seems like they do, I think even Fabrizio Romano might have said today that Arsenal have some. I think I've seen some sources say that Arsenal have interest. The only way I look at it is if he sees him as like a false nine who can finish, even though he can't right now. Maybe he sees little things he can do in training to make him a more clinical finisher. But right now, to be honest, for 70 million pounds, wouldn't go near him. Wouldn't go near him, and I think, look, I still struggle to understand what he excels at, and I think if they're paying that much money for someone, he has to have that one trait where he's like one of the best in the world at, and he's not. He's got a lot to his game, you don't score. He used to score 20 goals a season at Leverkusen.
Champions League winner, Champions League winning goal, yeah, German so international, and that.
He's got something about him because I think even for Germany, he's got like 12 goals and 30 appearances, which is very good.
It's like two different players for Germany and Chelsea, really.
So maybe it is just a Chelsea thing because even Jorginho at times look poor there. And if you put them in the right system and the right environment, they can thrive. Maybe Arteta sees that, but look, I like the idea of saving players, but we're past that stage now in the project. We need
Not everyone needs to be saved, yeah.
Yeah, and I think Arteta sees him, goes, I can make something out of him, but you know what? Yeah, you probably could, but he's João Felix out there as well. You can probably make something out of a lot of players. But find players now that are ready to make an impact straight away. If that's Kai Havertz, go sign him. If you think he's that, because look, we've had more unpopular signings in the past. We spent £25 million of Ramsdale and fans are like, why have we done that now?
Benjamin White at the time.
Ben White as well. So Mikel Arteta knows a lot more than us fans. And if he wants Kai Havertz, then fair enough. But it will take a lot of research, a lot of breaking down to understand what it is that he wants so badly in him.
I mean, I'm a bit like you. Like, obviously, it's not my money, not a financial expert. But for the price tag, allegedly, that Real Madrid are not willing to pay, where you're looking at 60, 70 for the wages he's going to be on, considering the fact of, he was touted as the next Ozil in Germany. He's gone to Chelsea, he's won titles there, and coming into our system with your experience, I kind of want you to hit the ground running, kind of alluding to what you're saying. I want a bit of assurances, and I feel when you look at our whole team, beyond the obvious players, Trossard, Jorginho, Granit on paper, Partey, everybody's still kind of discovering themselves. And yeah, you need to be multifunctional, but you need to lock down one thing. And I just feel it's another kind of project, and we've got too many of them. I like him. I think you got a good technical level, but it's like, what is your position? You can play out wide. You can play as a 10. You can play as a false 9. You are obviously 6 foot plus, so you are a bit, you're not physical, but you are physical. I just don't know what you are. So I could see why I'd be interested in him. He's a good player. I'm a bit like you. It's that, Arteta, you're the guy, so I won't blindly follow you, but if you're with it, then cool, I'll give him an opportunity, but it's not one that I'm like, wow, about really and truly. I don't see how it, unless, again, Arteta knows, I don't see how if we signed Havertz today, we've gone up another level. Carrying on that theme, where are you at with Declan Rice? It seems that we might just get him. We can't count our chickens before they hatch. Are you confident about signing Declan Rice? And are you confident that we could sign not only Declan Rice, but Caicedo as well? Rice-Sado, as they say on Twitter and that.
Yeah, I saw a new Rice-Sado today with the O as
with the O at the end. Yeah, I mean, it's a great prospect. Bro. It could be lit. It could be lit. Good days could happen at the Emirates, bro.
But listen, if we get both Rice and Caicedo, I'm sitting here. Look, I've already said that I think Arsenal are going to win the league next year, and I truly believe that. It's a feeling as a fan, right? If we get Rice and Caicedo, I will be even more confident that we can do that. And I'm looking more at points tallies. So I'm looking at next year. I think to win a title, you're looking at 95 points, and this year we had 84. Would a Rice and Caicedo elevate us enough in terms of depth, in terms of rotation, in terms of quality to an extra 11 points? I think so. I think they're both fantastic players that can improve our system even more. Let alone the likes of Saka and Martinelli getting better as well, and Saliba staying fit and available. That being said, in terms of Rice, I am confident because you can see all the reports, and it's from all the decent guys as well. It's not just sometimes it's reports from Italy and that's it, and you're like, okay, I'm going to good resources here. David Ornstein, Fabrizio Romano, they're all saying the right things for Arsenal, and it seems like Arsenal have. They've got like a assurance from West Ham of how much they want, and Arsenal.
We've done some groundwork on the back on the back burners, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like today what I've read today is that Arsenal have the payment right, but it's just about structure now, which is a positive sign. And I think if you get that
that's
done
also
now,
where I get scared, bro, because they might say, you know what, we want it in a different way.
Now, but from what what's his name, Team Losing Ticks was saying, I think he said like there is a provisional agreement and it's like a gentleman's agreement with West Ham and Rice, right? It's just about reasonable fees, and £92 million is a reasonable fee, and I think that's what it's looking like. Is how much they want up front and whatever. But Arsenal wants him, and Mikel Arteta wants him, and I think Arsenal realise the importance of getting it over the line, just to show not just to the Arsenal fans the ambition, but to the entire world we're the real deal here,
and to the players in that you're coaching,
exactly.
really, because they're gonna be like, wow, bloody hell, like, because they don't live on the island, you know. We've all played football with the team. You're like, yeah, we need this and that. So you're right on that, man. And like you said, you get depth as well with Rice, man.
Yeah, a lot of people will see Rice, and it's weird because can you call him a superstar like Ozil was? Probably not, because he's not a Real Madrid player.
It's not his skill set.
Yeah, but if you play for Real Madrid, Arsenal fans would probably call him a superstar. So it's weird when you sign a player from West Ham. But in terms of his skill set and what you're getting from him and his quality in the league, I think he's up there with the very best. So you're getting a player, and as you said, if you're the rest of the players, you're going, oh, okay. Now I got a proper player here. It's not like a youngster I don't know about. This is a real deal, and
200 odd appearances for West Ham. Just won a title there as well.
How often do you see teams take another team's captain? Like, it's very rare, and he's not like a captain where he's just become captain at 35. He's a 24-year-old captain.
He's done the captain thing properly, yeah.
He's a proper captain. He's like, when we had Fabregas at 22 or something like that. It's like that type of captain. So yeah, I think it will get done, and I think because the reports are in our favour, as long as that guy Chelsea, Todd Bowley, stays away from it, I'm confident. If he enters the race, then my confidence goes away, because that guy is reckless. He loses all composure.
That's where I'm shook at Caicedo, bro, because I just see them saying, you know what, but even though there are reports saying that Chelsea don't want to bid him, well, they'll match whatever Arsenal will match, whether they'll pay their variables and their installments in more favourable terms to Brighton is neither here nor there. But I think they're going to sweep up Caicedo, man. I can't see us getting both. I want to be wrong, man.
The only thing I say about Caicedo is it seems like this, that Arsenal, I think, remember the reports in January was that Arsenal stepped away to show respect, and fans laughed at that, going, oh, what do you mean respect, right? Maybe this is why. If we do sign him now, if we get over the line, maybe it's something like, okay, cool, we don't want to sell him then, we get that, let's keep that deal and the negotiations open, relationship open.
We'll talk to you in the summer.
And then in the summer we go again, and that's what we saw yesterday from them. A Brighton was a reporter, and Charlie Huffington, I think his name is, and he said the same thing.
Him and Chris Wheatley, yeah.
So there's clearly, and he's a Brighton reporter, and I think he's been reliable in the past as well. So there's something there. It's just a matter of if Chelsea are reckless. If Chelsea are reckless, we won't get him. If Chelsea are sensible and they try to go match Arsenal's offer, why would you then go to Chelsea over Arsenal, who've got Champions League football, who are closer to our title, who are in the top half as well? It is a matter of, as long as Chelsea don't become reckless, I think Arsenal have a chance, but Chelsea are definitely the favourites in that.
Let's assume we sign both of them, yeah? Ideal world, we sign both of them. Is that enough to go, like you said, to make the difference? Or do you think we need a bit more in other areas? Even though Rice is fairly adaptable and Caicedo's shown he can play on the right-hand side as well.
It will help Arsenal, for me, get over the line. And I say that because towards the end of last season, the reason why Arsenal collapsed was because when you take Saliba out of the Arsenal team and then you take Partey out here and there, whatever, you lose composure in the build-up phase. It was unreliable. You look at the game against Man City, it was all on the left-hand side trying to build out there. We couldn't go to Holden, right? When you've got Rice and Caicedo, you're getting two more technically secure players that are comfortable playing under pressure, but also players that are versatile. So let's just say Saliba gets injured next season. You've got Ben White fit and available. Move him to centre-back, play Caicedo at right back. You're keeping your technical level pretty high there. And I think Arsenal realised to win a title, Mikel Arteta realises, it's less about being, decisive and clinical and having a 20-goal team striker. It's now about control. How can you control games? How can you sustain pressure? How can you keep teams in their half?
It's about being over-prepared, man, really.
That's what I'm saying. And that's what Caicedo and Rice would give Arsenal is transition control. So teams that try to counter-attack Arsenal, you got two players that are dual winners. They can
finally
intercept.
Have some physicality in the middle of the park, which we've got
physicality as it is now. Xhaka and Partey are big, but what Caicedo and Rice are good at is they're good at winning their battles.
Yeah, they got good legs. Dynamic is the best way to go.
Very good legs. And Caicedo is more like a dual winner. Rice is more of an interceptor. It's a good balance there. And you got Martin Odegaard on top of that, and you got maybe Fabio Vieira rising, Smith Rowe getting back into the team with fitness available. That's why I think, if we get both of them over the line, there's a very good chance that we could do something special next season.
And the more I think about signing Declan Rice, the more I'm for it. Like, I think we have to accept, is Declan Rice a £92 million player? In today's day, yes. Evidently, for real football fans, not. But we either scout these guys, the Caicedos, the Rices, before they're household names, or we put the money down, or we just cry about what we don't have. For Rice, obviously, at 24 years of age is on his side. You look at him as a captain, he always fronts up to the music as well. You can tell he lives and breathes for football. He's a family man. man. You know, ironically, when the under-18s lost in the FA Youth Cup to West Ham, he was there. So he's someone that fully immerses himself in the club. You know, when you look at him, you know, he's not flying forward all the time, but he is known to make them forward runs. He obviously can play as a centre-back if required. He's at home as a 6. So I think I wouldn't say he's a blank canvas, but for Arteta, he could be a blank canvas to become a multifunctional player, a bit like the Benjamin Whites, the Zinchenko's, technically Martinelli, Trossard, and probably a few names that are missing as well. Again, some reports today, I don't really believe them because we have seen that Smith Rowe's future is at Arsenal. David Ornstein said he's not for sale, but some reports have said Smith Rowe could go in the other direction. Would you do that if it meant getting Declan Rice? Smith Rowe on a permanent for Declan Rice plus cash? Don't let me down now, man.
That's a very poor deal. You know, if you're going to sell Smith Rowe, you sell him properly and get proper money for him. So we don't need to give West Ham Smith Rowe for him unless they go Smith Rowe and it's like £40 million. Where you're going, okay, cool, you're getting a side.
It's not alone. I don't want to hear it. I can't lie.
With Smith Rowe, I think I know the report said that Ornstein Arsenal want to keep him, but that could be seen in two ways. Either us Arsenal saying we actually want to keep him, or that's like them going to other clubs. He's our player, and if you want to sign him, you're gonna have to pay proper money. Because him,
Balogun, Tierney, well, Balogun's contract. We don't really want to sell. I say them three because we don't want to sell them. They're just there's circumstances and the things like that. I would describe Smith Rowe and Tierney as available for the right price. Everyone's got a price. If you give us over 30 million for Tierney, sorry, Flying Scotsman, you're gone. Smith Rowe, you make an offer. While I think it'd be a bit harsh on him, it is for an academy prospect, and obviously Balogun's forcing his way out. Yeah. You're right on that still.
It's like Alex Iwobi went for £40 million, but he was never actually for sale. It was just a play. He's our player. We like to keep him, but if you pay us a decent amount of money, he's
Joe as well.
Joe Willock, as an example there. So Smith Rowe has a price tag, and I think Arsenal saying that he's our player is just them going, right, if anyone wants him, because teams will want him, by the way, Aston Villa and so on and so forth, you're going to have to pay serious money to get him, and that for Arsenal is even better in terms of incomings then. And if you sell Smith Rowe, then you can make a move for a Xavi Simons or for James Maddison or a different profile to add on top of it, a bit more of a ready player now.
You're right, still, and that's when I look at Smith Rowe. Obviously, you've probably seen the reports. He's training as an 8. Obviously, his direct competition at this moment in time is Martin Odegaard in that 10. Is probably fighting for that 8 role with Fabio Vieira.